Joining me now for more on how to help kids through this holiday season is Child and Teen Development Specialist Dr. Robin Silverman. Dr. Silverman, thanks for being here. You know, the holidays are supposed to be a time of joy, especially for kids, but we know this year is going to be different. So what are your top tips for parents with young kids who may be struggling to keep that holiday cheer alive?
Well, the holidays can still be so joyful, so don't let that go. Make sure that you involve your children in what a joyful holiday would look like, even if it feels like you have to make some changes. Ask them questions, very pointed questions. What do we think we can do for Grandma this year when we're not seeing her? Or what gift might be really wonderful for Uncle Steve? Brainstorm great ideas with them. And even if they seem silly at first, it may be the very thing that sticks. And don't forget that some of our joy comes from giving. So what can they give that might be different this year? Leaving a pie on the neighbor's doorstep. Or instead of booing somebody on Halloween, you can leave a Secret Santa gift on somebody's doorstep. There's some fun things that you can do this year that would definitely be all about 2020.
Love those ideas. And let's talk about Santa, because that is a big question this year. As Becky alluded to, kids want to know how Santa's going to do this. He was recently spotted getting a COVID test at a drive-through center, so it's good to see he's taking precautions. But how will Santa make it to everyone's home safely this year?
I think that's a great question to explore again with your children. They're so creative. What kinds of ideas should we give to Santa so that he knows how to stay safe? Perhaps this time he needs to send his gifts and you put a return address of the North Pole on there. Perhaps you advise Santa to maybe leave the gifts in a certain place, like in a screened-in porch or someplace where you have a pod with another family if you have had an exposure at your house. Kids are so good with ideas. Maybe you actually leave hand sanitizer and gloves next to the cookies this year. Think about what would help to keep Santa safe and keep that magic alive for those kids.
And this pandemic has taken a toll on children's mental health with virtual learning, social distancing, you name it. So how do you make the holidays feel more normal for kids, or is that not important?
Actually, so traditions do help to ground children. So some of those traditions you absolutely could keep alive, going out to see the lights, having that special breakfast. But it's also a time when magic can really happen and you can come up with new ideas. So maybe this time you go out for a midnight ride around to see the lights. Maybe you decorate your cars in the neighborhood and have a Christmas parade that way. There are some ways that you can celebrate that maybe you haven't thought of. And perhaps the idea you come up with this year is the very idea that sticks for the next year and the years after. So don't belittle a little tweak in your tradition to make it work for this year and many Christmases to come.
We might start some new traditions this year. Dr. Robin Silverman, it's great to have you on. Thank you.
My pleasure.